Welcome to Entertainology. I'm your host, Gabe, with my co-host, Jeremy Postav.
Wow, that was great.
Say hi,
great.
Jeremy.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Wow, okay. Wow, that was really good. Yeah,
That was good,
you
right?
should definitely.
That was my podcast voice.
That was awesome.
Yeah, my announcer voice.
Can you do that every time, maybe?
Yeah, it's just a little bit, if you notice, it's more mouth. It's just a little bit brighter. And
Right.
That's really about it. To get
Nice. Okay.
there. Welcome to Entertainology. See what I'm saying?
Okay, now you're making fun of me, I think.
No, that's what it is. I'm a pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Well,
Very
appreciate that great introduction.
You're welcome.
That was very nice.
Anytime.
But man, do we have quite the treat for you?
What is it, Gabe?
Well, for everybody, actually.
Yeah.
It's we're taking it back again from a very popular trilogy
How far back?
that came out, late 2000s,
Okay.
type of thing.
Yeah.
It's none other than the Dark Knight trilogy.
It was early 2010s.
Yeah. Well, late 20.
Yeah.
Well, just in general, the
2012.
trilogy.
We talked about this earlier. What's fun is we actually talked about this right before we came on.
Yes.
We started getting into it a little bit, and we
Yes.
talked about our material, and then we're like, we should
Yep.
probably quit talking because we have a podcast to record.
Yeah, I was about to say, let me just whip out the microphones right now.
Right,
And then we're going to get started.
Might as well.
No,
We're
let's-
sitting in that room together, everybody
Right,
talking in the
right,
background.
Exactly.
We'll say, shush,
Oh, man.
shush. The bros are talking.
Oh, yes.
Our fans. Our
yeah,
fans.
oh,
We're sitting in a room with
yes.
our fans.
Yeah, that's right.
Wink, wink.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
for my mom. So she
Exactly.
knows that we're famous.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And
She listens to the podcast.
She does?
Yeah.
Really?
She's my father.
Congratulations.
Yep. They're good people,
Hello.
those two.
Hello, parents.
Hello,
Glad,
yeah.
glad to.
Do your parents listen?
Rarely.
Rarely?
Yeah, but
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't
good.
say never.
Never.
But yeah, they definitely
Yeah.
tune in every once in a while.
Just make sure you're not swearing.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
But if it is, it will be covered by your fart.
By my
noise.
fart. Did you
Yeah.
do that for the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
podcast? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not out at plays.
It will be out.
Yeah. At the time of this recording, or is it out?
Oh, I
When
don't
does
know.
this one? I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
I have a song coming out November
Yes.
3rd. 2023. So if you're listening to this past November 3rd, 2023, you can have the honor of just looking it up now.
Yes.
I don't know when this one's actually coming out. It should
Right,
come out.
right. In a couple
It's coming.
weeks.
Yeah. So this will
so.
come out before Halloween.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's good. Yeah. So it has not come out
Yes.
yet
right.
for you listeners, current listeners.
And that's a Friday, right? Your release.
Yeah. So I do that on purpose.
Yes.
I always do releases either on Tuesdays or Fridays.
Okay.
Why?
Nice.
I don't know. It's one of those two. There's something behind it. They say.
Okay.
I don't think it actually matters, but I know once upon a time, I feel like I remember every album dropping on a Tuesday is what I always
Yeah.
felt like back in the day. I'm going to say when I was a kid. And then it became Fridays because I think you have a lot of like those pop EDM songs come out on Friday. I can play
Right.
at my party kind of thing.
Okay.
That none of that may be true at all, but I think that's what I heard. And so either a Tuesday or a Friday. And so I decided to do it on a Friday because I think Tuesday is Halloween.
Right. It is on a Tuesday, and the
Is
only
it?
reason I know that is because the latest Mission Impossible comes out on Blu-ray
That
on the 31st.
Okay.
So
It comes out on Tuesday.
I'm excited for that.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Latest Mission Impossible. Which one?
for sure. Dead Reckoning.
What is it? That's already come out, right?
It's come out already, but it comes out on Blu-ray.
Oh,
31st. Yeah,
It
yeah,
took them
yeah.
that long to make a Blu-ray.
Right. Took a while, huh?
Yeah, that's a long process. Whoever's doing that was sleeping.
I know. They need to be
Really?
faster.
That's the first Blu-ray of it?
Yeah.
How long ago did that come out?
Well, this year.
Okay.
July, I think.
Did I see that movie?
I don't think you did.
It's 007, right?
No, Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
You gave up on the series, unfortunately.
Yes, I did.
And-
Okay, you said
and-
when you said Mission Impossible, my brain went to 007.
Oh gosh.
And I was thinking, because that's your favorite series.
Now
and
those
so-
are fantastic movies. You just gotta
Yeah.
try them.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
whatever.
I'm not
okay,
gonna-
all right, whatever.
No, it was Mission Impossible
Whatever,
3, and then it was downhill from there for me.
Oh,
Not to
Lord
say
help
that
us.
they were not. I didn't care for 4. I didn't care for 5. Is that what came out?
Yep.
What's the
Yep.
last one that came out? What number?
Dead 7.
7?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
No,
Let's get him something else. Let's find him something else.
Right,
to do.
right, exactly.
He's a very bored man. No, he's not. He's making some great money.
There we go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's just the same thing over and over again. Go ahead.
Anyway, Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, as we filter
Let's
back.
get to it. Yes, that is right.
What we were talking about is that it came out in 2012.
Right. You got a little bit confused because you thought it was a smaller.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought it came out, you were saying, and I'm not going to look this up because I don't care, but you were saying that the Dark Knight, which everyone knows, came out in 2008.
Yes.
Okay. So this came out 4 years later, and I thought it was a few years later.
No.
Yeah. And that's what we were talking about is you
Right.
corrected me. It was 4 years later.
Yes.
So I thought it came out, I thought it was a year. And I don't know why I thought it was a year, but that's what I always thought was a year. Because doesn't Nolan come out with a new movie every year?
No, actually, sometimes
Okay.
it's like a year, 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, it just depends.
So was there a movie in between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises? Or was it?
Yes, it was Inception.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, and I was going to say with Dark Knight Rises, it
yeah.
felt like the same cast as Inception.
Oh.
Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, yeah. What he really loves to do is he really loves to bring in Michael Caine. Like in all his movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Literally almost all his movies have Michael Caine.
Right. You mean Christian Bale? Michael Caine.
Yeah,
Michael
older
Caine.
guy,
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yes,
he plays Alfred.
I don't know why I blanked on him for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fantastic.
Tom Hardy. Okay, so my celebrity crush, man crush, is Tom Hardy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a very handsome man. First off, and very good actor, very versatile actor. Okay. So is Christian Bale, very versatile. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a great actor as well too. I was surprised he was the Robin in this one.
I loved him in Looper too.
But then again in Inception.
And Inception.
He was Inception.
Right.
The only person not in Inception in this movie was Leo DiCaprio.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, that's right.
So that's the only person. That's the only difference between the two movies. And so it's the same plot and everything.
Right. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I just like stare at you when I say
confused.
that.
You got me all confused.
Look at you. And I was like,
Oh,
no,
Lord.
no, it was not the same plot. Okay, so I'm just okay. So and then obviously Anne Hathaway was in this one.
Right. Who you said had a bad performance.
Okay,
what you remembered.
Okay, so this is what happened. We talked about this before when we both watched the movie. So I watched the movie when it came out in theaters.
Yeah.
In 2012
with the boys.
I believe I was with the boys, if I remember correctly. And you watched it in theaters?
I watched it with theaters with friends.
Okay, but you did go to
my
theaters
mom too. My mom came.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she went to the theater to watch this movie too.
Mom date.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, ayo.
As actually no. And as a matter of fact, I remember I loved it so much as a kid.
Yeah.
That I got her to take me again.
Really? You saw it twice in theaters?
I saw it twice in theaters.
Really?
So it was crazy.
Yeah. I remember when I watched it in theaters, I believe it was IMAX. And the very first scene is the airplane tilting. And I was like dizzy because I felt like I was in the airplane and I was like an airplane tilting and I was like, bull, you know what I mean?
Man. Okay.
Like I remember kind of feeling, because I was in IMAX, so obviously.
Right.
You got the surround sound and all that. I was not 3D. I don't even think this came out in 3D.
No.
Nolan's above that. He and his brother, Jonathan Nolan, was. Did you know he was a part of this as well too?
No.
Did you know he had a brother?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Jonathan Nolan.
Wow.
Jonathan Nolan is more of in the writer. He has directed and produced some things. But when it comes to him and his brother, from what I've seen, it seems that Jonathan Nolan is more in the writer position with Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
Together.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so when I watched it originally, I remember I remember coming out and thinking the movie was great, but not like, wow. You know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't like, that's incredible. It's the best movie I've ever seen or anything like that. But I remember it being good. And I remember when I watched it, I didn't like Anne Hathaway's performance as Catwoman. Was what I think I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah.
And so when I went to watch this movie again, so this is 11 years removed, and more than that removed from the Joker. So this one was hard to grade because of its shadow of The Dark Knight. You know what I mean?
I know, and especially when you're coming off of such a high,
Right.
and going into this movie, you're expecting it to be
Right.
just as good as
Just
The
as
Dark
good
Knight.
or better.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's hard though because of, Heath Ledger's performance, which I was saying to you, if you notice that they never make a reference to Joker in this movie, and that
Right.
was just because they wanted to respect his role.
Oh, yes.
In the movie before. And so they never talk about him, what he did or anything like that. Obviously they reference Rachel as well, but they never reference the Joker. And so, but Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, I watched it this time. First of all, I thought the movie was better this time around. Because I feel like it was so far removed from The Dark Knight that I was able to watch it for what it was. And I liked it. I actually liked it more this time around.
Really?
Yeah. And then Anne Hathaway's performance was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just was like, wow, she's a great Catwoman. She
is.
did a great job.
She is.
Yeah. And I saw that she did. She really got ready for the role. I don't know if you knew that. So she took like dancing lessons and like she worked out and she like did all that sort of stuff to be able to be like that.
Right.
You know, whatever Catwoman, that kind of flexibility. I don't know.
Right.
Like
well,
that.
and the funny thing is, in the beginning of the movie, she seems like such a pushover.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, she's knocking canes away from Batman and stealing necklaces.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
And so she did a great job. And in like this movie, I read too that Nolan said, Christopher Nolan, not his brother,
right,
that this movie was more about pain. And so all three of the movies had something that they were focusing on. So the first one was fear.
Okay.
The second one was chaos. And the third one was pain. And so that's why you see Batman in pain a lot.
He is.
He's getting past. So like he's getting past fear. He's working through fear in the first one.
Okay.
He's working through chaos in the second one. And he's working through pain in the third one. That was his goal.
Right.
Did a great job.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And, now that you reference that, it's like, I love how Batman kind of gets thrown down quite a bit in this movie.
He does. He gets his back broken.
Oh, yeah. He's
like, whoa.
And he's coming from retirement now?
Yes.
So
okay,
I guess some years have passed, supposedly.
Was it 7 years? Is that what they
Is it?
kept saying? Because I was trying to... I should have listened with subtitles.
Okay.
Or watched with subtitles. Because I was trying to figure out if they were saying 7 years between the last two.
Well, it was interesting because they open up... Well, towards the beginning, they have like that memorial or whatever, just in remembrance or something like that.
Yes.
For Two-Face guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Two-Face?
So,
yes.
Yeah, Two-Face, yes. Yeah. Yes.
And then all that came. They were all like, he was a bad guy, and they were like, oh no, Robin.
Gosh.
You know what I mean? Actually, so yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, did you know? So Gary Oldman is also one of my favorite actors of all time.
Really?
Yeah. Gary Oldman is such a good actor.
Please tell me you've seen Air Force One.
Air Force One. Maybe. I'm gonna see if I've graded
Harrison
it.
Ford.
Oh, I feel like if Harrison Ford is in it, then
Come
obviously
on, man.
Air
You had to have seen that
Force One. If
That
I've not
one.
graded it, then I've not seen it.
Oh my goch, you have to see it. It's fantastic.
I have not seen it.
No.
It's got a
Oh
6.5
my gosh.
though.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to the 6.5. Don't listen to that 6.5.
You know what I mean?
Just go off of the words.
Wolfgang Peterson directed that one.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
I have no idea, but he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he did. No, I haven't seen it. Just like, yeah, he did. And it's like...
He plays terrorist in here. Like, it's fantastic.
Does he play a
man.
terrorist?
He does a great job. You won't even
he did
recognize
Troy?
him.
I did see Troy. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Sorry. The Never-Ending
Okay.
Story? He did The Never-Ending
wow.
Story?
Gary Oldman?
No, Wolfgang
Oh, the director.
Peterson, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Anywho, little bit of a tangent.
Right. But as far as actors, I think they're fantastic in this
Gary
movie.
Oldman. Oh, yeah.
Gary Oldman, too. Yeah.
Nolan just grabbed anybody that's freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just beyond their years when it comes to acting.
And you think he's, pushing out bangers now? I mean, he's...
Nolan still is?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's still doing it now,
yeah.
he did 10 years ago, too, man. Like, this one...
Yeah, this is actually...
Fantastic.
I think we talked about this. This is one of the few movies that were not up for nomination.
Oh.
It's one of the
Really?
few. One of his few movies
Okay.
that were not up. I don't know why. Because it was a great movie.
Right.
Whatever year it came out. Oh, 2012. So it was not up for nomination in 2012. didn't get anything for
Right.
it. But and the characters are really dedicated. So obviously, Tom Hardy gained weight for his position or for that role for being Bane,
Okay.
because Bane is a bigger guy.
Right.
Obviously shaved his head and all that kind of
Right,
stuff
right.
for
Got
that role.
bald, yeah.
Got bald, and he killed it. Oh, and did you know that they had to dub his voice?
Really?
Did you not know that? So they
With who?
with Bane.
But it was still Tom Hardy's voice.
It was still his voice. So what happened was,
Right.
because he's behind the mask.
Right.
Sorry.
And you can actually, a little tangent here, but
Yeah.
if you get a Pringles can, you
Yeah.
eat all the Pringles.
Okay.
And talk into it, you can sound like Bane
Sound
too.
like Bane.
Yeah.
I was born in the dark.
Yes.
Though he
yes.
never said that, by the way. He never said that. I feel like that's what everybody quotes from that movie is I was born in the dark. But he never said that. What he
Really?
said was, you nearly adopted the dark. I was born in it. That's what he says.
Oh.
That's one of those Mandela effects
Right.
that some people have.
Yes, I remember that too.
Yeah, I was born. Because people say it all the time. I was born in the dark. But he never said that. You know.
Yeah.
You nearly adopted the dog. Anywho, so what happened is he did the original lines in Under the Mask. So he's talking or whatever.
Right.
They
right.
did I think the preview of the movie,
Okay.
like the red carpet, I think it was the red carpet. And the audience members all said that they couldn't understand what Tom Hardy was saying because it was too muffled. And so he
Really?
went back in and redubbed his voice. And so it's
Oh.
both.
Oh, okay.
And so he's got them behind the mask and then him talking how he was talking. You know what I mean? Like, and he pulled that voice. He was mimicking like a wrestler or something like that for
Okay.
that voice. He pulled that voice from something else for that. So now you know. That's some more you
Right.
know. But yeah, it was
So
dubbed.
does the Batman, he does his own voice?
His voice is so comical to me.
Right. Right.
It
is something to laugh about. I mean, just the way, just thinking about it.
Rachel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just like, it's so breathy and
Right.
so like, ugh.
Exactly.
You know
That
what I mean?
sounds like, it's like, do you want, or to try doing his voice, but saying, do you want some candy? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, like, do you want some candy?
yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Like,
And it's just like, okay, you can't take him seriously
Oh,
because,
jeez.
especially so the comedian Pete Holmes. Do you know who that is?
No.
Stand-up comedian. He came out. I think it was Funny or Die. If you remember that company, I think it
No.
was with them, where he did like a mock thing of Batman, and he does, the voice or whatever, and it's so funny. Like Pete Holmes is a very funny comedian. Look him up for all you audience members that are listening, and you as well.
yeah.
Pete Holmes is a
well.
very funny guy. He's got a podcast as well.
Oh, interesting.
He's the one that I sent you the video, and he had the puffers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like,
gotcha,
we should do
gotcha.
that too because
Right,
it sounds
right.
much better.
Yes.
And it does.
It does. For sure.
So that was an upgrade.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
I come with upgrades.
Yes. Thank you for your service.
But anywho, moving along. What were you going to say about
man.
something?
I don't know. It was just I didn't know that he did his own voice. Then is that
Mm-hmm.
the Batman did his? No, the Batman.
Yeah, that's Christian Bale doing his voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure because
He's
I
just
feel
talking lower and breathy.
poor guy. I feel like
Yeah.
after a while that could hurt your throat for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like the movie was an intense. I believe it was this movie, but when they're fighting, Christian Bale and Tom Hardy are fighting in at the end. They're
Mhm.
fighting each other. I think in the street or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah. The street.
One of them had to call cut because they were tired.
Oh.
So they were because they got all the gear on and all that kind of stuff
right.
and so there
And-
was so much. That was a rigorous day. You know what I mean? You
For
think of all
sure.
that kind of stuff going on, and they just needed a break. And one of them, rumor has it, I don't know if this is true. I heard this somewhere, and I didn't look up to see if it was true or not.
You should have watched special features maybe
Did you watch special features?
a long time ago. I don't
Okay.
remember though.
Well, you have the Blu-ray.
That's right.
You should have watched it.
And it
before
looks
this.
amazing.
Yeah.
man.
Morgan Freeman. We forgot to mention him.
Oh yeah.
Abby, my man.
By the way, that
Yeah.
bat cape, it looks heavy for some reason. It just looks
does look
super
heavy.
heavy.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the way it's moving and stuff. It looks
It
like you're
does.
carrying a haul in a big old curtain.
Right, he did. Yeah, it's
Holy
like the theater.
cow.
It's a theater curtain.
Yeah, it's like a theater curtain.
Right, it
like,
doesn't set on fire either.
Holy
You know what I mean? He
cow,
just pushes
man.
it back. This is my motion for pushing it back.
Jeez, oh my god.
I'm a bat. You know what I mean? That was a Pete Holmes quote. I'm a bat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you ever look him up, I'm
I
going to
will.
show you some
I'll
of his
have to.
videos after this.
You have to share.
Yes.
Share with me. Yes.
I'll have to show you so you know what I'm referencing because that's kind of about that's the same world as all of this. What else? Okay, so you watched it again. This many years later.
Well, this has to be like the 6th time or something like that.
6th time?
Yeah, I swear. I think I've watched it at least 2 or 3 times since 2012.
Really?
Yeah, but it has been a while.
Okay.
I would say at least 4 years since I've seen it.
What'd you think of it this time? Now that you're older.
Fantastic.
Still fantastic?
Fantastic.
Was it more fantastic this time than it was before?
I think so.
Really?
I mean,
it gets better with age.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
I think so. And age is like fine wine, I guess. Right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Nolan.
Oh gosh.
Classic Nolan.
Just like Inception, but
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I love that movie. But
every one of his movies deserves a second watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
and
the
10
nuances.
Deserves 10.
Absolutely, it does. Did you watch 10 watches?
That thing you don't understand nothing.
Have you reviewed that movie yet, Tenet?
We have, but we were talking about part 2.
There's a part 2. Oh, making a part 2 of it?
No, yeah, because
Gotcha.
it's so confusing.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, I don't know. I didn't listen to your first Tenet, so I don't know how we'd make a part 2 of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
We talk about it again.
Right. Well, yeah, you must know what happens in there, but
oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I watched it already.
Gotcha.
That was a great movie.
It was.
Tenet was.
It
It wasn't his top graded movie, Nolan's, but I don't know why.
Because it was too confusing.
You think so?
I think so. That's why.
Why? You know what I mean?
People and critics are like, I'm not watching it again. It needs to be simplistic enough for me to be able to watch it from beginning to end and know what's going on.
Stupid. But you have Inception, which is the same thing.
Well, that's kind of true. I see your point.
You know what I mean? If you're going, I will say Inception. I guess you don't need to watch it a second time, but it deserves a second watch because if not, then you see more.
Yeah.
Where I do believe Tenet, you will have to watch it 2 times because you won't get it the first time. I would agree.
Okay.
But that's just.
But even at the second watch, some people still don't get it.
Yeah.
Like me.
Really? You still don't get Tenet?
I watched about 4 times already. Still don't get it.
Really?
Well, for the most part, let me take that back. For the most part, I do understand, but there are just some certain areas where I'm just like, that's confusing. I don't understand how that happened.
Have you seen the maps?
I've seen the maps, man, and
I'm
still
just confuse you.
I mean, they help.
Okay,
but it's still.
What a great movie.
It's good.
It's great, and it was thought of even to the point. I don't know if we're going into a tangent here.
I don't know, great, but
if they were, you didn't think it was great.
It was good.
That's because you don't get it.
Okay, whatever.
It is because you don't get it.
All right.
There's just some things there will be times for me where we'll talk about stuff and I won't like it. It's just because I don't get it. You know what I mean? That's just part of life.
Yeah.
But watching the timelines of it going back and forth and the whole loop thing.
Right.
It's super cool. And even to the point where they made a point of breathing, because obviously something about that is backwards. And so they had to make their own respiratory thing because even breathing in oxygen is backwards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. The masks.
The masks, yep.
Gotcha.
Just those details. And just like in that movie, this will swing us back. And just like in that movie, he bought the airplane to wreck it.
Right.
Nolan did.
Okay.
Same thing in Dark Knight.
Oh.
And so that's one of the things I love about Nolan a lot is that he does his own stunts. Not like he personally. I'm just saying he doesn't CGI too much.
Okay.
If ever. And the one of the big CGI things they were going to do in this movie was the Joker. So that was a debate. I think you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
It was a debate of whether or not to, because he still needed a part in the third movie. Because obviously at the end of the second one, he didn't die. He does that thing. You just need a little push, and he's tipped upside down. You know what I mean?
Right.
So his role wasn't over. He was supposed to go into the third movie, and then obviously, and then obviously Heath Ledger passed, and so then you can't recast that because that's awful. And so then there was, should we continue the plot with a CGI, because they had filmed some stuff that they could have used. CGI with a CGI Joker, and they decided against it.
Yeah,
which I think is better.
That wouldn't have looked very good, I don't think.
No, it's at some point. It's just I think it would have looked fine. I don't know. That's a hard thing to do because of what the role did to him and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I think sometimes you just need to let things be what they are.
Right.
And so
they made the right decision.
They did. I believe so too. Just moving on.
Because the villain itself, Bane, was able to carry it just fine.
Absolutely. He did a great job.
Oh, yes.
Rumored had it too that they were actually going to introduce the Penguin.
Oh,
in the film.
Penguin.
And I believe, I'm going to look this up.
And the great thing about Batman is that there's so many characters. There's Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Of course, the Penguin.
It is true. So the rumor was, this is the rumor, that they were going to have the Penguin in this as well too, and it was going to be done by Philip Seymour Hoffman. Was going to be the actor for it.
That would have been fantastic.
Yep. And then Nolan decided that Bane was enough. They didn't need to do any more.
Okay.
Where like if you watch any DC movie right now, there's always like 12 villains.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? They're just like, we can't just do one. We have to have 20.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, shush, And so I don't know. It just shows how much, and it's hard because any Batman besides Nolan's Batmans, in the future, obviously there were good Batmans back in the day for what they were. And there were terrible ones, obviously, Batman and Robin. But Mr. Freeze. But the Batmans that came after DC comic Batmans they're not even in the same category for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And reason being is because the characters are relatable. So that is key to making a movie, is making your characters relatable, even if they're the bad guy or even if they're the good guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so DC has that issue where they don't make their characters relatable, and Nolan did a really good job of I feel like I could be what Batman was doing, or I feel like I could be what, like I could reason with Bane, or I could reason with the Joker, or whatever. You know what I mean? There's a human aspect of it that seems real. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where then if you do something like Superman, it's like I don't have a connection with Superman because I don't have superpowers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's why he just does such a good job. Is these are human beings, not superpower human beings. You know what I mean? That's where Nolan did so well.
Well, I'm trying to figure out now that you said that, like how I can kind of see the Batman's perspective. How he comes out of retirement because he's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it all goes downhill and then he's in that jail.
Yeah.
It's really hard for him to see his city burn.
Yeah.
While he's down there in jail, and like he feels like he's the only one that can save his city. Right.
So he's working through the pain. Which we talked about a second ago.
Through the pain. But then what would Bane's perspective be then? Why did he do this? Why did he take control over Gotham?
So in the end, the reveal is that Bane is just a pawn, though he seems like such a king in this whole thing. He's actually a pawn. The actual queen in the whole thing was Liam Neeson's character's daughter.
Yeah.
Which Rahul.
Ragu or something like that?
Ragu.
Oh, wow.
Ragu.
Well, we understand, and I'm sure they understand, too.
Miranda was the character's name.
Okay.
Marianne Cotillard.
Such a sweetheart.
Absolutely.
Throughout the movie until the end, man.
Inception, again.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
She was in Inception as well, too. She was the girlfriend in his dreams.
Yeah. You know, I recognize her somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen that girl before.
I see you before.
That's right.
She was like, get away from me.
Oh, God. But I love how in terms of the story, throughout the whole movie, she seems like she's on Bruce Wayne's side the entire time.
Absolutely.
And then
convincingly.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, that twist at the end, oh, man. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's like someone stabs a knife in your stomach.
Yeah, and he was like, what? He thought his appendix burst.
Oh, okay.
No, he's like, wrong time for that.
Talk about stabbing somebody in the back. Huh?
Right. Well, she got him in the right side, obviously, so that's not so good.
I heard people say if only he was wearing his original bat suit,
Yes.
the one that was bulkier.
Yep.
It would have saved
It
him.
would have saved him. And that's the they call it Batman neck, obviously, where
Oh, yeah.
I think the second movie addresses that.
Oh,
where obviously
Lord.
the Batman neck is just like, you know,
right, yes.
gotta
Move. Oh, my gosh.
gotta move with it. Or, yeah, it moves with it. Yeah.
Yeesh.
So they got rid of that in the second movie, and so as if that was an issue. That always cracks me up. The thing that always makes me laugh in the movies, though, is the painted eyes.
Oh, yeah.
They painted black.
Right,
I don't know
yeah,
why
yeah.
sometimes Batman as a character seems so laughable, but that's one of those things to me. You know what I mean? And he's a really hard character to play.
Right.
I think some people don't realize just how tricky, because you have to be two different personalities in order to play Batman.
Right.
And so you have to be rich and pompous,
Uh-huh.
and then at the same time you have to be like struggling with your demons.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I think that some people, you know, Ben Affleck obviously being a terrible example of a Batman. So rich and pompous, great. Dealing with his demons. I don't even know. I think he knows what demons are.
Oh my gosh. Figure
no.
of speech. by the
Figure of
way.
speech, yeah. But yeah, he for me he didn't do so well, but
But
neither did.
in terms of Batman's,
Yes,
know.
obviously there have been far worse.
right? I think this is the best version.
Oh,
the
yes.
best version. You know,
Absolutely, Christian Bale has done
Christian
great.
Bale, oh yeah,
I'm still waiting for somebody to do like an A+ performance.
right.
Be-
Did you like the newest one?
Which one?
Just real quick, the newest Batman. Did you ever watch that
Who
one?
played Batman? Was it?
Oh, Biscuits. I don't know.
Robinson.
Yes, Pat Robbins.
Patrick.
No,
What is his
no, I don't know. We know Robinson.
Robert Patterson.
There we go, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Patterson. There we go.
Robinson.
Yes.
No.
Patton Robertson.
Patton Robinson.
We were like, bruh. I don't know.
Brain fart.
Robert
Holy
Patterson.
cow.
Hey, I got us there with Robert.
Thank you.
That was
Yes,
the tip.
There we go.
But yes, I really enjoyed Robert Patterson's performance.
Yeah.
There was a dip there with Ben Affleck, but Robert Patterson did a great job.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I liked that movie. Was it The Batman? Is that what they called that one? Or Batman? I can't remember.
It's just called The Batman.
The
yeah.
Batman? Okay. Yeah, they did a great job. I don't even remember who directed that one.
I don't know. It's a good one.
Yeah, that one. They did a good job. Whoever, I think was that one a part of the DC Comics universe? I mean,
Well, I don't know. I think it was
Okay.
its own separate thing.
its own separate one. Because
Which it should be, I think.
yeah, because so then
especially because you got Ben Affleck, you know.
yeah, but I think he's done. Rumor
Yes.
has it, so he
Yes.
is done. Yeah.
I think they're starting over.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
Everything. They're just starting over, wiping the slate clean
gotcha.
because they know that they messed up.
Okay, because they whoever played Superman, he's the real nerdy guy.
well,
he's
he's
a
good.
good-looking dude, but
I love
he's
Henry
in
Cavill.
the Witcher, I believe, as well too.
Henry Cavill.
Is that his
Yep.
name?
Yep.
Did a great job as Superman.
Fantastic.
So keep him.
Yeah.
But get rid of Flash.
Oh,
Get rid of Flash. Get rid of. Did you watch the new Flash?
yeah.
Did you like it?
It was great.
Stop it.
Just get out.
Just get out.
Just get out.
He's not a good Flash. He's like, and this is the thing. If he ever listens to this podcast, and he never will, I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. But if he ever did, I'm not saying he's a bad person or a bad actor.
Right.
I'm just saying when it comes to such iconic characters, you have to cast accordingly. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so they are tricky. The Flash is a tricky character. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so we saw that with Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've got Tobey Maguire and Andrew
Right.
something. And then
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, and then Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And truly, at the end of the day, Tom Holland was the best Spider-Man. You know what I mean? But for their time, Tobey Maguire was real nerdy, but he was not a good Spider-Man. Where you got Andrew Garfield's a great Spider-Man, but he was not good at the nerdy side.
I definitely
Yeah.
see the way of your thinking.
You know
for
what I
sure,
mean?
yeah.
And so you have to be
a lot
meticulous.
Of people, a lot of people think exactly like you do.
Right.
what
You
you just
have, yeah, absolutely. You have to be meticulous with who you're casting in a role like this, okay, where the character is already developed. Okay,
Mhm.
we know who Batman is. We know who he is on the side and who he is or whatever. And so if you try to put somebody in those shoes and they're not that person already, they're not going to work, And so I'm not saying like Ben Affleck is a bad actor or that, or whatever his name is for the Flash or whatever. It's like when they cast Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, which was so stupid. And then he does Deadpool, and it's like, there you go. You casted him as the right character.
Yeah.
You know, he was not a good Green Lantern, great Deadpool.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because he's already kind of that way as a person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's tricky. I just don't think you can pull anybody out of a hat or like they're such a good person or anything like that, in which they are a great actor and they are great this and the other thing. But they almost have to be that person in order to be cast as that person.
Right.
You know? So I don't know. That's my soapbox.
Well, no, I understand.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, and that's the end of the episode.
No. But right
So.
casting choices here
Yeah.
when we're coming back to The Dark Knight Rises. I mean,
Yes, absolutely. And like we kind of talked about that too. Did you like Anne Hathaway's performance?
I did.
Okay, the first time?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I was also a kid, but
Sure.
teenager,
Yeah.
I guess.
I
Whatever.
remember thinking they could have cast somebody else better for Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it more at this age. Because that's what I thought back in the day. And I didn't think anything more about it.
Just quick question. Were you into movies back in the day
Yes.
as much as now?
No.
Yeah. So you've progressed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've much more progressed.
I say the same thing about me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching movie more out of being a hobbyist. And then I got into film through the years, and not anything huge. But like I've done like commercials and stuff like that, local commercials or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I was just about to say what they were, and I was like, I don't think I think that would be a breach of copyright.
Oh goodness.
Anywho, and they're not some of them are national commercials,
yeah.
but I don't think I can say what they are.
Right.
Anywho,
a lot of different advertisements.
right. And I did sound. I wasn't
Yeah.
like trying to do like video or anything. And so I got to be the guy on the side watching how people did movies.
Yeah.
And then that's when I
great.
really got into movies because I got to see the background. It's kind of like I really like music until I started playing an instrument, and then I loved music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Because it's like now I'm getting what they're doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I loved hardcore music was a huge thing for me, and a lot of people are like, I just don't get it. You don't get hardcore music until you play it, and then it's like, oh, there's this thing. You know what I mean? And like, I'm kind of that way with bro country. You know what I mean? I don't get bro country, but I like country.
Okay.
But it's probably because I've never played bro country before. You know?
Right.
And so I don't know, but this new era of country that's coming out, I'm really a big fan of what's coming out this past year. I'd say year or two.
Interesting. Yes.
Anywho, I digress. What was the question?
Yeah, about the movies. You got yourself.
Oh
movies
yeah,
here.
so I got myself I was a part of different things or whatever. So I got to see how they did it. So then, ever since then, that's when I really got into movies because then I got to see how and why they were doing things.
Right. It takes an entire team. Sometimes over 1,000 people to put a movie together.
Absolutely. And
and man, do they, some of these movies sure pay off.
Absolutely.
I mean, sheesh.
And then like gear choices, you know, and so Nolan does this a lot. And I can't remember the name of the lens, but it's the lens that it's shot thinner and then in post it's stretched out. And that's where you get that, like when there's a light beam, it looks more like a slant. You know what I'm saying? Then it actually looks like a circle. You know what I mean? And that's because of that lens that they use. And I know he used that lens on this movie because on the corners of things, it was not a perfect line. If it was a wall, it would be kind of slightly turned, and that's that lens. But I didn't know about that lens until I started doing that.
Okay.
You know, and color-wise, what it looked like to go from raw to doing a coloring like that.
Grading,
Color grading and all that. And so I got to watch some good friends of mine over their shoulder, watch them color grade some stuff over the years. And so it's just like, wow, I can't believe some of the cool things that they were able to do in this movie with just some of that, like color grading. And like say for instance, being in on a shot. So like obviously what it means to have the view be far away versus being close.
Right.
Because obviously a close shot is more about intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
A further shot is more about like I'm feeling like I'm listening to a conversation from afar. Things like that. There's just a lot of thought, and then lighting.
There is. Oh yeah.
Lighting certain sides of the face more than others because of whatever and this and that. And
audio and
audio, yes, of course. So then I did the audio
whole basket in there.
Yeah. So I did the audio for what I was doing. So I actually got to learn how to do audio for movies, which is vastly different from doing audio for music. It's much quieter on purpose. And so that to me was weird. I was like, you want it to be quieter? And it's like, yeah, it's not the point to be loud, The point is to have dynamics in a movie. You need dynamics in a movie.
For sure.
You can't just squash it down, and so I never understood that, But
and speaking of cameras, they shot this on IMAX, right?
Yes.
And so what that means basically, if you actually own the Blu-ray, you actually have and you watch it on TV, you'll be able to have a lot of scenes where it's like the whole screen, the whole TV.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier. What do you mean by that?
And so if you were to go like on a digital platform or like Apple or Amazon.
I watched it on Max.
On Max, whatever it might be, you get those black bars.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, some of the directors that film in IMAX, they want it intended for IMAX, which is why directors are always so like, go watch it in IMAX. Go watch it. That's the way.
That's the ultimate. That's the way we did it. Yeah.
Right. So it's that full screen experience. And so that is why I definitely recommend watching this movie on Blu-ray so that you can get those. And not to mention, not only do you get better video quality, but the audio quality is fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
None of that compression and stuff added onto that.
It's the Dolby
Atmos
that they do the movies in, which is 7.1.4.
Yes.
So that's a little fun fact. But IMAX audio is actually different. It's a 3D. It's more 3D. The other one is 3D as well too. Sorry for the audiophiles out there. They're like, it is 3D. Okay. It's more 3D. And also IMAX hasn't released how they do their 3D stuff. So you just kind of have to assume.
It's messed up.
Yeah, which is, it is. It's a secret. Maybe there's somebody that's figured it out by now.
Right.
But it's kind of a secret, obviously. And so that IMAX audio is paramount compared to regular. But then it goes from there to the Dolby, which is the 7.1.4. And then if you're listening to it like I did on my phone. So I have this thing right now.
That's messed up.
And this isn't a commercial. But I have this thing right now called Lazy Glasses.
But we could go to commercial right now.
And here's a commercial. Hey, Gabe, how about you tell us about Podbean?
I'd love to tell you about Podbean. It is our distributing platform that we can distribute our podcasts onto all sorts of platforms. We're talking Spotify. We're talking Apple Music. All sorts of not YouTube though, because we have our own.
YouTube is our own.
Yeah. So
your own.
But if you want to be a part of this and you want to try a 30-day free trial, all you got to do is go to podbean.com/ETFree1 and they will get you hooked up. Wow. And let you know everything that you need to know.
That sounds amazing. Hey, Gabe, so what would I need to do to be a sponsor on the show?
That is a great question. I'm glad you asked. All you have to do in order to get sponsored on this show or any Podbean platform show is you just have to go to sponsorship.podbean.com/ETFree1. And guess what? They're going to give you, $100 credit, up to $100 credit to use so that you can be able to sponsor your small business or anything.
That's
like
a lot of money. You can buy a whole car with that.
Oh, yeah. It is. All right. Let's get back to the show.
And welcome back to Entertainology. I'm your host.
All right. No, we don't need to be doing that all again. Wasting our film.
Where were we, though? You were wasting our film.
Wasting our film.
From Rush Hour 2, the bloopers.
Yes. You remember that? Oh, man. We got to do that movie. We just had a
moment.
We got to do that movie,
We just had a moment.
Rush Hour 2. We got to do that movie.
But the thing is, have you not done it yet?
No, we haven't. We got to do it.
Yes, we have to do it. The thing about that moment that you and I just had, that wasn't the movie. That was the bloopers.
That was the bloopers.
You know what I mean?
You waste all of our
You waste all of our
and
film.
he's on the phone
Yeah,
with his
exactly.
friend. Oh my
with
gosh.
Chris Tucker,
Chris Tucker,
phone.
Jackie Chan.
We just had like a bro moment there.
That was good.
Because that means you watched
That
the
was
bloopers.
good.
The
Oh,
bloopers
man.
were at the end of the movie. I get that.
understand.
They were
But they're
attached to the
funny.
credits.
They're
I
funny,
get
you
it.
know.
But some people don't sit through the credits. So
Oh gosh.
that gives you a reason to sit through the credits.
All right.
That was a good moment for us.
Yeah.
We're best friends.
Yeah.
Do we just become best friends?
Yeah.
I don't mean, and that's from Step Brothers.
Yeah. I don't know that one.
All right, so now we're not friends anymore.
All right, yeah.
Enemies.
That's right.
Enemies.
It's over. You're fired.
You're fired. You're fired. This is my podcast.
Whoa.
Get out of here.
Oh
Bring in
my
someone
gosh.
else.
All right, I'm sorry.
Paulo, come in.
Hey.
No. But we were talking about, so Dolby. I was listening on my phone. So I have this thing called lazy glasses.
Yes.
Have you heard about these?
No.
So it is when you're lying on your back like that.
Okay.
It's a mirror that it's glasses that you put on, and it's a mirror that reflects to anything that's below you.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I'm trying to say that the best for the podcast. I'm trying to describe it the best for the podcast.
Okay,
If you're watching the
okay.
podcast, or if you're watching it on YouTube, it makes a lot more sense because I use my hands.
Yes.
But yes, it's a reflection. And so I had the phone. I was lying in my bed, and I was looking up with my
okay.
lazy glasses, and I had my phone on my
Nice,
belly,
nice.
and I put my headphones on
Oh.
Apple
Interesting.
AirPods, and I put my
Nice.
AirPods to Dolby,
Oh.
and I
wow.
watched it about half of the movie in my bed.
That's actually not that bad.
That was
Honestly,
awesome.
you turn off all the lights
Yeah.
and wow, that's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
That's how I did it, and I held
That's
the
actually
phone.
pretty cool. I thought you were just like gonna watch it like with the speakers on your phone. I'm like,
No,
that's kind of
No.
weird.
I'm an audiophile. I do things with audio constantly. That is my job, and so the
Gotcha.
audio to me is more important than the actual movie.
okay.
So, because that makes, honestly, audio makes or breaks a movie.
Yeah,
It really does.
really does.
You know, and there's so many examples out there. Just YouTube them. But if you
Yeah.
don't believe me, see how important audio is to a film.
Yes.
You know, and for some circumstances more important.
Yeah,
than the
especially
film.
the music
Yes, music is a big, or the choice of not having it. We talked about
Oh,
that
yeah.
before, but
and
the kind.
Hans Zimmer's score.
Hans Zimmer, yeah,
Hans Zimmer is
Yep.
brilliant.
He is untouchable in my
Yes.
book.
Jeez.
Him and Nolan are just
Mhm.
untouchable. And then
and,
what was it?
and they love to work a lot together. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
except for Tenet.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. That's the
That was
outlier.
the one outlier. Yeah, which
Mhm.
I don't remember the guy's name. Did a great job.
Yeah,
So,
he still
yeah.
did a good job.
Yeah.
He almost had replicated that same feeling.
Right, exactly.
As-
You
yeah.
kind of have to.
Yeah, right.
There's a
yeah.
little bit of when you're watching a Nolan movie, you're watching a Nolan movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you're watching a Wes Anderson movie, you know you're watching a Wes Anderson movie. Or if you're watching I don't know, any other of the guys out there, you kind of know. There's these signatures in movies where Taika Waititi, I always feel like I can tell when he's
Okay.
directing a movie.
Okay.
And so Wes Anderson's a gimme. He's the only
Right.
one who directs that way. But Nolan as well too. A big tell if you know you're watching a Nolan movie is there's not a lot of CGI. Like they
Yes.
actually do the stunt. And so obviously
Brilliant.
they actually did the stunt in the airplane.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah,
Scary.
or the drops. Though the one thing I was thinking about in that stunt, from what I understand, airplanes' wings are super, super tough, super strong. And so that's
Okay.
why they can withstand so much turbulence,
Right.
and your wing's not going to break off, kind of thing. And they've shown, you can watch some YouTube videos where these guys have stretched airplane wings up like 90 degrees, and they still aren't breaking. You know what I mean? Something like that. It's something
Okay.
insane. It might not be exactly 90, but somewhere around there. And so obviously when the airplane grabs the other airplane and then starts going faster, which makes it nosedive, the wings pop off.
Right.
And I'm like, I
yeah.
don't think they would have popped off.
Oh,
You know what I mean? They're made to not.
Oh,
Pop
geez, you're
off.
thinking a little too harsh there, buddy.
I don't know. Every movie has a flaw.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the human aspect of it, and that's okay
Even my favorite movies, just
Oh, yeah.
I notice issues all the time.
all the time, especially when you watch it more.
Yep.
Yeah, the more you watch a movie, the more you'll find something
Mm-hmm.
wrong or whatever. And so that was for me the one of those like, meh,
It's like, oh, that purse moved 10 feet that way in that shot. What
exactly.
happened?
Or they're eating and the plate is empty and all of a sudden it's full.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that,
Right.
So,
Oh
but
jeez.
I would say, I don't know. I feel like I just went down this huge rabbit trail going from the audio to that
right.
or whatever.
It's all right. You still mentioned the plane. We're good.
You still mentioned the plane. Is there anything that's
right.
from the movie that you wanted to mention?
Well, I just kind of wanted to just say how fast paced it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, when it's done right, I mean, I don't mind it going so fast.
Right.
But I'm like, I'd rather fast pace than slow pace because
Absolutely.
sheesh.
Well, there was so much content.
There was.
And it's, do you know how long this movie is?
And it's spread out pretty evenly at
Yeah.
a 2 hour and 44 minutes, I believe.
That was exactly what it was.
Yep.
You nailed it.
I nailed it.
I see.
That's honestly not that bad. That's including the credits too.
Yeah.
You're including the credits there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good, so we'll say half hour.
And it was perfect.
Yeah.
I think, like for me, I have to say, I know a lot of people don't have like a cutoff, but for me, I'd say 240. Like if
That's your cutoff?
Yeah, like if you really can't fit a movie in 2 hours and 40 minutes,
Yeah.
what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
You should really watch 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh gosh.
Because that's that's
That's
a really
yeah.
good movie for, I don't know, 3 hours to 4 hours long that it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just is enticing the whole time.
Oh,
You just edge of your seat. 2001 Space Odyssey.
really?
Wink.
You're lying.
Watch that.
You're lying.
What?
What a big
What?
fat liar you are.
Have you seen that
That
one?
thing is slow as heck.
Have you seen that one?
No,
You've not seen 2001?
I don't remember actually.
I think that was Ridley Scott movie.
Okay.
Um,
But it'll definitely be on the list. It's going to be a slow burn, but
I had to watch that movie in
for your
Stanley Kubrick.
Oh.
I nailed it.
okay.
He tended to be that way. I don't know why I thought Ridley Scott.
gosh.
Oh, because he did Alien? I don't know. I'm going on a tangent. Yes, that was I had to watch that movie in, I think it was 4 parts.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Holy cow!
I'm telling you, it was like, oh, this movie's dragging.
I guess it wasn't as bad as because like movies that drag or movies that
Yeah.
should have been longer, like Super Mario.
Yeah, 2.5 hours long.
Should have been longer. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And movies that were too long, like Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh,
Way too long.
Yeah.
And
did we talk about that movie?
The Avatar, no.
The last one? Okay.
No, we
I
haven't.
didn't like that one.
No, you didn't like it, but
Boring. It was. It was so boring.
oh gosh,
Plot is important,
Yes,
people.
Yes, it is.
They don't realize, yes, it's cool effects. Yes,
Yeah.
it's this and the other thing, but man, don't cut short of the plot. I'm watching this for a reason.
Right.
I want to see a story. You know what I mean? A story that isn't my everyday story.
Yeah.
And if you cut short on the plot, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a very important. We can do cool CGI. Great. So can other people on YouTube. But where's the plot? You know what I mean? And
Right.
So that's anywho.
For sure.
And he comes off his soapbox.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. So many.
So many today. I got an attitude. I'm
It's all right.
tired.
It's
That's
okay.
what we'll
No,
blame it
it's
on
all
that.
right. It's all right.
It's been.
Told you to grab a Coke, but you didn't want to
I
listen.
don't drink caffeine.
All right. That's all right.
You know that.
Just on Christmas, right?
Nope, not even Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
I don't drink any caffeine.
Oh Lord. Okay.
You know that.
All
We
right.
talked about it because
Nice.
it's a sin.
Right.
No,
Yes, it is. Okay.
No, I just don't.
Oh
I
man.
just don't drink it.
Okay.
Not a fan.
Well.
Not a fan.
Nice. All right. But so you thought this was a good pace movie too, right?
I did. It was captivating the whole time.
It was.
Oh, we talked about this too. The whole Robin thing.
Yes.
I know I wanted
so-
something I want to talk about. You
Well,
go for it.
so I enjoyed just the way, because he wasn't in the Dark Knight, was he?
No,
No,
his-
right? Yeah,
yeah.
No, he wasn't. And so in this movie, I love his. He has a great story arc, and I love how there are quite a bit, I think, of
Yeah.
character arcs in this movie.
Absolutely.
And I really enjoy his because a lot of the police, they kind of make fun of him because he's like a rookie type of thing.
Right.
He's like, all right, like, he a lot of these people are like, oh, he's a hothead. He's like,
Right.
who went down there when the sewer exploded? He's like, well, I know who went down there. The commissioner went down there. We need to go down there. And he's all like, oh, get this hot head out of here. You know?
Yeah, right.
And so, but I love how he became a detective. And then, he became, what was it? Something else, I believe.
He was a detective. I think that was what he.
Oh, that was the one he landed on.
Yeah, I think he landed on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but then all the way until he became. I think he ended up quitting or something like that.
The very end.
Yep.
And he threw his badge.
And then Bruce Wayne had a little package for him,
right,
revealing
who he
the
was.
Bat Layer.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he went in the Bat Layer.
Yeah.
And so the assumption is that what Nolan wanted us to get to was that he was the next Batman.
Oh.
That was the point.
Okay.
And so obviously that doesn't go along with the comic, but that was the legacy being carried on. Christian Bale had retired and moved to, was that Italy or Rome or something that they were sitting in?
Yeah.
And he had retired with a person.
Yeah.
Oh, with Catwoman.
Yep.
And then they retired together, and then he was taking over that role with his mask. But his name is John Blake in the movie.
Okay.
There is no John Blake in the comics. So Christopher Nolan took a bit of a creative stance here. So from what I understand from fan people, they were saying that John Blake was supposed to be an accumulation of all three Robins. So there are three different Robins in the comic books. Okay. And so Christopher Nolan wanted this Robin to be all three of them in one, and he named him a new name, which was Robin. That was his actual name, Robin John Blake or something like that.
Oh.
And so that's why if you watch it and you're like, that's not a person I've ever heard of before, it's because it's not. He was taking a creative stance, and he was making a new character out of three different characters. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So there's kind of that as well too. And then he was, from what I understand, he was Robin the whole time. Okay. So he was more like a phantom Robin.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if you watch the movie, Robin is Batman's sidekick throughout the whole movie.
Oh.
So
he's always helping. Yeah.
He's always helping.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
And so though he was not wearing the costume, which would have been lame.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
They gave him a police uniform. You know what I mean? Or a detective uniform so he could look like a normal person. This is why Nolan did such a good job.
I never thought about that. That's very smart.
Right. And so he humanizes all of his characters. So Robin as a character is a bit ridiculous. You know what I mean?
The green, the yellow,
the green,
the red.
yeah. And he's the green, it's like a Speedo, a green Speedo.
Right.
With whatever. And so it's a little bit of a ridiculous person or whatever.
Right.
And then he's got this detective uniform on, and then he throughout the whole movie was assisting Batman in everything that he was doing. So he was Robin in the movie, but he was more of a human Robin, not like a superhero Robin. And there are no superheroes in this movie. They're all normal people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if you think of the whole movie, all three of them, Scarecrow didn't have any superhuman powers. Joker didn't have any superhuman powers. He was just a man.
Right.
Batman's just a man. Robin was just a man. Bane was just a man.
Yeah.
They're all just people.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they're more relatable. And so me as a person, I can relate.
Wow. Christopher Nolan, man, he just hits it out of the ballpark.
Exactly. Or Jonathan. I don't know if it was, obviously they wrote it together.
Right.
The Nolan brothers.
Yeah.
That was one of their decisions. And they do that in every movie. There are no characters in any of their movies that aren't relatable.
Okay.
That aren't human.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's good stuff.
Yeah. And so that's actually a very key. That's where DC fails. And a lot of their stuff is that their characters aren't relatable as people.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And I would say a little bit of where Marvel has failed as well too, in recent years. They don't really give but like Loki, obviously Loki's out right now. Have you started watching it?
I haven't.
Okay. I do think like in this, like the Loki series that's going on, they
gotta wait till it's all out,
And then you watch it?
Yeah.
I watch it as it's going.
Boring.
How is that boring?
I'm just kidding.
All right, we're gonna fight.
Just kidding. Oh God. Oh, we don't got time to fight.
That was your favorite. We got 32 minutes.
We got time. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 33 minutes. But that's where you think of like Iron Man. Obviously, he had superpowers, but he was going through human things, which made him a very relatable character. Even Thor at times, you know what I mean. But you just have that's the issue. You know, maybe the real reason why Thor, the last one wasn't very good. No.
No.
Was the last one good?
Yeah, you liked that one. I remember that one was good.
What movie was it recently where it was like, wow, that was... Ragnarok was great.
Love and Thunder.
It was fine. What am I thinking of?
Yeah.
Love and Thunder was fine.
I don't know what you're thinking.
There was a newer...
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man was stupid. The first one was fine, and the rest of them were like...
Oh, gosh.
And again, that, though, is not the casting.
What a hater.
That's the writers, to me.
Okay.
The Paul Rudd, man.
I know we've heard the decline. I understand.
Yeah, Paul Rudd, I do think is a great actor, very versatile. But and he did a great job as Ant-Man. But
yeah.
I just think whomever was maybe writing, I don't know if it's writing or directing. I'm not that smart, but just kind of missed the boat, you know.
Well, yeah.
And then
I guess
basically whoever did Suicide Squad.
Didn't watch that.
Just kick him out.
Okay.
Okay. Will Smith, I think, was in that one.
Ooh,
Jared Leto was Joker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'll make sure not to
avoid it.
Not to watch that one.
Like the new She-Hulk.
Okay.
Is that what they call that one?
Yeah, there was some times I had to look away from the screen on that one.
She-Hulk?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I've never watched it.
It was okay.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's why I'm not watching it.
Or it was
That's what I've heard, so I'm just now watching it. Well, the same thing.
I know some people would hate it for sure.
Absolutely. The same thing happened with Wonder Woman. The first one comes out, and it was a great movie. The first Wonder Woman was a great movie.
It was.
And then the second one. Ugh.
Oof.
It's like, what happened? Because the first one was so good, you know? I don't know. But then you have things like Thor, where the first one was great, and then the second one was phenomenal. Ragnarok.
Yes.
That was a great movie.
It was.
Taika Waititi.
Yes.
Directed that one.
Yes.
And then I think he directed the third one as well, too, which was okay. The third one I actually liked, but to me, it wasn't like Ragnarok.
Okay.
Ragnarok was just like so good.
Beast.
It was a beast. It was a beast of a film.
Yeah.
And so then you have Iron Man, obviously, and that's Jon Favreau.
Right.
Directed those and was a character in them.
Yes.
Did a great job. Same guy who did Elf.
Oh,
which some people don't know that. Yep.
I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he did Elf, and he did the Mandalorian.
Wow. Nice. That's a good one.
I never got on. Here's the thing. I know. Look at your face on that one.
Okay.
This is going to cut my fan base in half. I highly respect Star Wars. We've talked about this before. I highly respect the Star Wars
We're going to have to
series.
do a Star Wars movie soon, huh?
I don't care about the Star Wars.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, I've seen every one of their movies.
Oof.
And I tried to do The Mandalorian, and I didn't care for it. But,
sugars.
the one that I liked a lot was Rogue One.
Yes.
I actually really liked Rogue One.
Fantastic.
Which makes me like, I like Andor series.
Oh.
The series. It's good.
Yeah.
You know?
Halfway through it.
Are you? Yep. Oh, you stopped? Because it's been out for a while.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So that's the thing. I respect. Here's the reason why. Don't send me hate mail because I get why people are gonna hate me for what I said.
Slide in his DMs, guys.
Yeah. Is because I get what it took to get there. You know what I mean? I get the creative element. I get the creative aspect. I highly respect George Lucas, the team, the special effects. They paved the way for what movies are today, sci-fi movies are today, with their sound effects and how they did things. I was just talking to somebody about how crazy of a reveal that it was for Darth Vader to be his father. Can you imagine sitting in the theater and then that being the reveal?
Yeah.
That's an insane... The whole time the bad guy is his dad. You know what I mean? What a good reveal. And that's what I'm saying. The whole thing is good. And it's great and or whatever. But it's like when it comes down to taste, you know what I mean? It's not really my taste as me as a person when it comes to bias. I tend to be more, when it comes to sci-fi movies, I tend to be more in the realm of Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
You know?
Gotcha.
And so I tend to like Lord of the Rings fantasy more than I like Star Wars fantasy.
Right. Okay.
So,
gotcha.
But will I watch Star Wars when it comes out? Yeah, I'll watch it every time.
Good.
You know what I mean?
That's good. I'm glad.
That's just personal taste. So
Gotcha.
I'm not blind. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's why I say don't send me hate mail, because I know what you're all going to say. You know what I mean? But it just has to do with personality more of the sense of when it comes to sci-fi. It's a different world. So, and then like Harry Potter being up there for me as well too. I really enjoyed Harry Potter. The books more. I became that guy.
Oh no.
Yeah, books more than the movies. But it was true. The
gosh.
books were better.
Okay. Those are some thick books.
Yeah, they are. And I actually read them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were
Holy
coming out.
cow, those are thick ones.
Yeah, as they were growing up, I was growing up with them.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? Because
okay.
the first books are a little bit more juvenile, and then J.K.
Alright,
Rowling obviously
okay.
gets a little bit more mature. As they mature,
Nice,
her
okay.
writing gets more mature.
Okay.
Then I got more mature
Nice.
as it with it.
Wow. Okay.
So that
That's
bunny
great.
trail is over.
Oh yes, yes.
You had to put up your
Okay.
hand for that one.
Oh.
I got spinning again.
Oh man, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
all right.
I'm filling in content.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're full of it.
Yeah, because you're okay. So, but for you really love Star Wars movies, though, right?
I do.
Is that your side of fantasy? That's your favorite?
Probably.
Okay.
I'd say that. Yeah, more than Marvel. I think so. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
will agree.
Oh man.
That's a hard one. If we're talking what world of Marvel.
Oh, okay.
So like, so you like Star Wars more than you like Marvel movies? Is what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying?
think so. Yep.
It depends for me.
Ouch.
Like I said, Ragnarok was to me such a phenomenal movie, and then I can't remember which Iron Man was my favorite. But there was a few. I think it was the first one. I think. But
Masterpiece.
it was a masterpiece. But there's a few other. Obviously, the two Endgame and
Infinity.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Is it Infinity War and then Endgame?
Yeah.
Just whoa. You know what I mean? Just that's what I'm saying. For me, Star Wars never hit a peak like that. But if we're going to compare it to She-Hulk,
Oh,
you know what I
gosh.
mean?
Yeah.
Or
I get
if we're
it.
going to
I
compare
understand.
it to, I don't know,
I just say Infinity Saga. How about that?
Infinity Saga, yeah.
That's when Endgame, boom. That's when the Infinity Saga ends. right
That
there.
just, yeah, absolutely.
So
And then, it's the one with Chris Pratt,
Guardians.
That last one was so good.
It was fantastic.
And it was needed. It was a breath of fresh air for the
Yeah.
Marvel universe because it
Yeah.
was like, you boys, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, we're kind of like,
There's a sign of hope there.
exactly. It was like, oh, okay.
Marvel
So
can still make great movies.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of breath of fresh air on that one.
Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah.
that was a good one. So
Yeah. Well,
anywho.
we digress, right?
We
But-
digress. So
but,
Batman.
Yeah.
It's hard not to talk about Marvel
I know.
when you talk about.
Well, yeah, I know. Marvel's
DC.
better, but anyway,
well, the thing is,
the DC has great movies like this trilogy.
it is DC.
When we're talking,
Yeah.
overall,
Yeah.
DC, I think this is the best right here.
Absolutely.
This is the trilogy. This is golden right here.
Right.
Don't touch it.
Right. Exactly.
Nothing can like
Exactly.
We don't need anything else.
Right.
Like, sure, DC has made not the best movies.
Right.
But this trilogy is amazing.
Right. And was it? Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know about the Batman Begins, but
Which one was that? The first one?
that was the first one.
That one was okay.
It was okay.
It was a little bit of like, I feel like Nolan trying to
Right.
find his feet in a superhero film.
But then you compare it to Dark Knight, it's a landslide.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
just so.
it's just,
Because we were in the right spot at the right time when that one came out.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This movie comes out, and right before it comes out, we find out the villain actually passed. And it's like he passed because of he passed because of how intense he played that character. And then you watch the movie and you see how intense he played the character.
Yeah.
That man was convinced he was the Joker.
Yeah.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, when she was in the scene where he comes into the ball party, where, it's like in the very beginning, the Joker, he comes in and he shoots the shotgun into the air and it's everybody's dressed really nicely and he grabs the champagne.
Yeah.
So he was, what is that called? The acting?
Method acting?
Method acting.
Yeah.
So he's a method actor. He was for every one of his roles. He was method acting a role. He was not supposed to grab her face like that and put the knife up to her like that.
Oh.
And so if you actually see her looked over to the side, she looked at Christopher Nolan. That's what she was doing.
Oh my God.
Because she was scared.
Oh.
Because she really thought to herself, this man is about to cut me in front of a camera.
Oh my God.
So if you see her, because she does this whole trying to get away, and then he finally gets her face, and she looks.
Oh my!
Watch her. She looks over to the left, I believe.
That's crazy.
And she's looking at Christopher Nolan because she's expecting him to call cut.
Oh my God!
To go from that movie to this one, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like you know what I mean? Like
rail. Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it.
You know what I mean? What a shadow to be cast under. You know?
Right.
So,
right, because I think for a little bit I was thinking Dark Knight Rises was the GOAT.
Oh, absolutely.
Until what?
I said, oh, absolutely.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I'm saying I understand that you would say it was the GOAT.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
I'm agreeing with the fact that you would think it was the GOAT.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
I
don't think it was the GOAT.
But for a while I was thinking that.
Okay.
Until I saw the Dark Knight again. In the past. I think 2 years.
Okay.
I was like, no, this movie is the best.
Just
The Dark Knight is the best.
It's the best. And honestly, to the spectrum of so far, it's going to take a long time for it to not be the best. Because it's still the best.
It is.
And so basically our generation, mine and yours, has to die off. And this movie has to kind of funnel in the background for it to be a classic. And then people will watch it as I want to see a classic movie. That was really good, but have you seen whatever futuristic movie that's out there? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And so something, because of time and bias, something will beat this movie. I don't know if we'll even be alive for it, but something will,
Right.
And so, because that's always what happens. Because if you think of even back in the day, you think of, I don't know if this is a good reference, but if you see, we'll say Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
People thought Godfather was phenomenal when it came out, and it was phenomenal when it came out. But generationally speaking, and from a timeline speaking, is it as good as as Dark Knight? You know what I mean? It is as good as some of these other ones that have come out.
Right.
It's no, but for what it was and when it came out, I think it was 1984 or something like that. When it came out, it was the best movie that had come out.
Right.
And so at some point, this movie will be beat, but it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And so, but I would say, in my opinion, to today, there is no movie that's better than The Dark Knight.
DC.
What do you mean?
In terms of DC, or
in terms of movies?
Oh, in terms of movies,
I would say that's probably one of the top rated.
Holy
I think
cows.
even on IMDb, I think it's second or third.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's even what people say as a consensus.
Fantastic.
You know what I mean? So
for
me personally, it was one of for me, I never say there's a number one for me for anything, because it can change. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to say my favorite record of all time is blah, 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 because it's probably going to change.
Gotcha.
But this was such a top movie just because of the way it was shot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people's responses in the movie were genuine, just because of how crazy it was to work with Heath Ledger.
Yes.
And so,
gotcha.
And Heath Ledger was so dedicated. And here's the thing. So obviously it is true. He locked himself up in a hotel or whatever it was, for 6 months and was isolated to try to develop the character. And the first thing that he worked on was the laugh. trying to get his laugh down.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
there's no point in the Joker if you don't have the laugh.
Right.
Which is what Joaquin Phoenix worked on for his. That was the first thing he worked on as well, too, was the laugh. Because you're not the Joker unless you have the laugh.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so he worked on that. He locked himself up for 6 weeks. But Heath Ledger did that with every one of his roles. So that wasn't uncommon that he did that.
Okay.
Because so some people think it was like, I can't believe he did it. But he did that for every one of his roles.
Wow.
He would lock himself in whatever, isolation to develop the role, and then he would method act after that.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes, it's definitely the GOAT, and what a way to end a trilogy, I think.
Absolutely.
For this movie.
You like the ending?
In terms of this movie, yes, I really enjoyed the ending because, going back to what Alfred had said.
Yeah.
I love how it came to pass because he's like, well, one of these days I imagine you and sitting at some random place and you'd have a girl and kids and we wouldn't say anything to each other, but we knew that you've made it.
Right.
And then that was in the middle of the movie. And then in the end of the movie that happens. And
right.
That's
exactly.
Fantastic.
He's with Catwoman, which again, that's why
I wasn't expecting the Catwoman.
Yeah, but she was supposed to have the role of being a normal person.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Was there not supposed to be a Catwoman in this?
No, she was supposed to be in it.
Oh, okay.
But Catwoman is an anti-hero.
Ah.
Isn't that what they call that?
Yeah. Well, so is Batman.
Yes, as well too. Batman's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And so she was supposed to be that where she's kind of developing as a person. And so she is this person, then obviously she gets to know Batman, and so she just kind of becomes a better person just because of the people that she's met, which is relatable. That happens to everybody. You know what I mean? You become more of who you are because of the people you surround yourself with. And so she's, she meets Batman and she gets to know him, and there's that time where I'm not saying they're together, but what I'm saying is they just are friends beyond what this is kind of thing in the story. And so that's a very relatable thing. It isn't this we're supposed to keep Catwoman going for the sake of Catwoman. You know what I mean? And she's got this person she's got to kill, and this person she's got to avoid, and whatever. Right. She just has this small little blimp of being Catwoman, and then she kind of fades into the background. Same with Batman. You've only really got these 3 big stories that are of Batman, and then he retires.
Right.
Because that's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like every day you have one
right.
thing after, and that's the unrelatable humanness. Things like, a great example is Only Murders in the Building. And they kind of make fun of it in the same as well. Have you seen that series?
I haven't.
At the end of every season, they figure out who murdered the person, but somebody again dies.
Oh. Okay.
And now they have to figure out the murder of that one. And as season 2 goes, they figure it out, and that person goes to jail. And at the end, somebody dies again. And they just did that again with the 3rd season. Somebody else dies again. And so there's kind of that really, in an actual real life, are you going to be around 4 different murders? Are you going to be there for 4 different murders? No.
Right.
But to keep the series, that's why they kind of pick on it a little bit. They know as writers, it's this isn't practical as humans, but is there such villainry in if that's even a word, in Gotham that there needs to be more than 3 different extreme stories? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
yeah.
So
Gotcha.
That's again, I keep going back to it, but that's where Nolan kills it. It's human. It's 7 years later, I believe, from Dark Knight. So nothing has happened for 7 years, and that's life. Nothing has happened for 7 years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Nothing.
In a sense, he kind of did enjoy that retirement.
Right.
He's a hermit.
A little bit of a hermit.
Yeah.
He need to grow out of it.
Oh yeah.
There's the pain as well too, because he's got a cane.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I don't know if you know this, but it took 45 minutes into the movie before the Batman came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So interesting. So
took a long time.
Took a long time. Okay.
But
and that's a lot of
imagery. It was necessary.
Yeah.
I think that was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course when you're retired, you're retired, man.
Right.
It would take a lot out. It would take a lot to to happen.
Right.
In order to get out of retirement.
Right. There was the part that this was the other thing that I kind of rolled my eyes at with where he obviously he's got the limp. Then he puts that thing on his leg.
Oh, yeah.
And then he kicks the cement.
Okay.
And he breaks the cement with his kick. You know what I mean? And I was like, no. Because the part of impact that hit the cement is his foot.
Yeah, that was confusing to me too. I'm like, whoa, he's got strength.
Yeah, all of a sudden his foot has superhuman strength.
Holy cow.
No, it's not his foot that's bad, it's his knee. And yes, it structurally made his knee better, but I don't care if you put a rod in your leg and then you kicked a wall, your bones in your foot could not stand the impact of hitting. A brick wall is going to win way before your bones are going to win. I don't care what speed you're going at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seemed a little impractical. He swings around and he kicks the cement and all. I was like,
well,
I think your foot would break.
No movie's perfect.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I think your foot would break. I don't know.
Right.
So I digress. But I thought of that part being kind of a little bit
a little nitpicky, but
yeah, I don't mind. I'll nitpick.
No, that's good. That's good.
That's how I think.
It proves that no movie is indestructible.
No, and that's the thing is Nolan does such a good job in all of his movies, but he's still human.
Right.
You know, the thing. Okay, here's the thing. That's why they call it Hollywoodizing. You have to progress the story somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're proving the point that this thing has structurally made his leg better. Okay. And so it's like, wow, look, it makes him even kick through brick in a wall. But really, you know what I mean? So we're moving the story, and that's why they do things like that. That's why I say, for instance, with the airplane and it flips upside down and the wings break off, if the wings were still on there, then the airplane would actually go all the way back. It would actually flip upside down and be upside down. But he needs the airplane to hang for the point of the story. So we're just going to make the wings break off. You know, same thing with Shawshank Redemption. The whole breaking of the pipe. He needs to be able to break the pipe to be able to escape.
Right.
But how are we going to do that properly?
Exactly.
So.
Right.
There you go.
Awesome.
You got to carry the story.
Awesome.
What, you have anything more you want to say about it?
Well, I mean, before we close, I would say there was one new tech in this movie, and, you know, it's really unfortunate that how the underground sewer, they kind of like put a hole and all of a sudden they were underneath the facility.
Yeah. They were like, oh, we're right here.
Yeah. Oh, we're right here. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, we've seen the motorcycle. We've seen the Batmobile. But in this one, we get like a flying ship.
They called it the Bat.
The Bat?
And it's like, it's Batwing.
Right.
But they did do that throughout the whole movie. They never called it the Batmobile.
Okay. Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, it was different.
Right, but they never called it that.
Oh,
but and it's not the Batwing. It does not look like the Batwing.
Okay.
But again, that was the humanization. So what the point of his equipment was to look like military equipment. It wasn't supposed to look like a cartoon car.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
And so that's the humanness again as well too. He wants the story to seem relatable.
Yeah.
And so we're going to use military grade.
Yes.
Sort of stuff. And so the Batwing. That's not what they called it. The Bat is we'll say like a military grade.
Oh yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call that, but it's not like a airplane. It's like, and the military does have these things. I don't remember what they call it, but it's an airplane that is able to. It goes up off the ground and then launches.
Mm-hmm.
They do exist, and obviously I don't know if they can land that way too. I don't know. But anywho, so that's what this thing is based off of, is that airplane that can fly off the ground and then come off the ground and fly.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be like a military grade.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So
it was nice though. It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Something different.
Something different. You had to add something, and Fox had to make something new.
Right.
You know?
And now that you mentioned that, like, you're right. None of this tech seems cartoonish at all. Right. So
it's all military.
Yeah.
Even the
much more lifelike.
Even the motorcycle.
Yep, the motorcycle. Sheesh, that thing.
Yeah, with the spinning wheel. I think that's so cool.
Oh yeah, epic.
Yeah, that's so cool. I don't.
That had to have been CGI though. But.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they actually made that. You know what I mean?
No way they made.
There's like footage of somebody from their cell phone taking footage of the 3 Batmobiles, whatever they're called. Bat cars.
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 of them driving down the road, one right behind each other. And this is for getting ready for the movie or maybe shooting the movie.
Right.
They were moving them from one place to another. And so they were actually operational.
Probably shot in New York.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's a good thing that you said that.
Some of it was shot in New York.
New York,
London.
Chicago.
Not Chicago this time.
Not this time?
The Dark Knight was shot in Chicago, not this one.
Okay. None of it was shot in Chicago.
No.
I thought that they did. So was
New
this
York?
one?
New York was their main, which is weird because they're doubling Gotham as Chicago, New York.
Right, exactly. Well, that was
So that's a little bit weird, but
they didn't want it to seem like a city that you knew.
okay.
Gotham had to be its own city, and so that they chose different cities to film at to make the
okay.
But Chicago obviously was one of them. It's funny because we live close to Chicago, and so when they do the scenes that are in Chicago, it's always like, you know what I mean?
It's so nice. I took a picture of one of the buildings. Actually.
Did you? Like you were being down there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
After.
So, and I've been Chicago's my home away from home kind of thing. And
I love it.
I love you too.
Beautiful. I love Chicago.
I love Chicago so much, and so a lot of people,
I wanna
especially
live there.
around here, because we're a little bit more in the boondocks.
I want to live there.
Do you want to live there?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's move.
And
there.
I'll drive every weekend. I'll drive here. You know.
Oh yeah, you and Ray.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no, I get that because when I was growing up, I always thought I was going to live in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so that dream has kind of slowly died as I've gotten older.
I'm
but
so sorry.
yeah, that's it.
You just want to look out and see Gotham. Man.
I just love the city.
It is.
I just love
Very
city
nice.
life. So, but I think
Yes.
I'm starting to miss the boat a little bit. Maybe
it's okay.
in that.
It's okay. It's all right.
I'm trying to see if I could. They say it where it was filmed, but I'm not seeing it right now, so I'm
Yeah.
just going to ignore it.
It's okay.
Oh, United States. Oh, and it says United Kingdom.
Oh yeah, I think they did do some shots.
So they must have
over
filmed
there.
in London.
Somewhere over there. London, yeah, I think it was
So
London.
that would be So that would be they chose big cities to shoot in to give Gotham. It's not a specific city feel.
Yeah.
It's its own city.
Yeah.
So they shot in different cities.
Smart.
So,
Yeah.
and I think I want to say places like L.A. or Atlanta.
I think it was L.A. It was
LA.
L.A. Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if
Yep.
Atlanta as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Or Houston or places like that, those bigger city places. I wonder
Yeah.
if they ever filmed. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up either, but
No, I know. I'm telling you guys, it's L.A.
I'm not. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm wondering if they shot it in other places like Atlantic City or
Okay. Those don't ring a bell, but
I don't know. They may have
New York and L.A. for sure.
in Chicago.
The Dark Knight in Chicago, yeah.
They
But
did not film a scene.
The Dark Knight Rises, no.
How do you know that?
Because it tells it at the end of the movie. I don't know if you
it says
saw-
it. No. Yeah.
You don't read the credits, Lord.
No.
Oh.
You read the credits.
I don't read the credits, but I sit through the credits.
You sit through the credits.
Yeah, you just have to. It's respectful.
Oh my
Listen,
Lord!
it's respectful.
to
It's respectful
who?
to the people who created the movie.
They're sitting next to you in
Oh,
the room.
All right.
Nolan's
You
sitting
can
in the
enjoy-
background. And
yeah,
he's like, I
right,
hope
right,
Gabe
right. Well,
watches the
yeah.
credits.
Yeah.
You're like the people who
Okay.
clap at the end of the movie.
Okay, don't give me a hard time. about
They're
this.
just like, woo,
Don't
that was a
give
good
me a
movie, and
hard
they clap at the
time.
end of it. And it's like, who are you
Okay.
clapping for?
All right, don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't clap at the end.
I
don't
know,
do
but
that,
those people is what
they're
I'm saying.
weird.
They're
Those are
weird.
weird
Who are you
people.
clap? The people who did the movie aren't in the room.
Exactly.
You know what I
There
mean?
might be one in there, but I mean,
Right.
it might just be like a costume artist person.
It's
That's
not.
about it.
No, not
No, it's
around
not.
here.
Oh, okay. You never know, man.
Not
you never
here.
know.
Not here.
You
No,
never know.
there's
Makeup
not gonna be-
artist, security
No.
guy. Come on.
Okay, if they're making a film out of LA, they're not in our city
Oh gosh.
watching out of the
Oh,
14
man.
theaters that are sitting over there, or 8 or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
No, they're on to the next
oh,
movie.
sheesh. Oh,
They probably
man.
went to the premiere.
Well, right. You're right.
You know what I
They
mean?
wanted to watch it without fans.
who
and
are you
audiences,
clapping
right.
for?
Oh
They're just
my
like,
gosh,
that
they're
was
just-
Little Mermaid. That was so good. And
Oh
clap her
my
hands.
gosh.
It's like, okay.
They did that with Little Mermaid. They did.
I
that?
don't know.
Oh,
I'm just making one up. That was the last one I saw in theaters.
jeez, Louise.
I do want to start watching more. What's the
Yeah.
the next one?
Yeah.
What's coming out in theaters soon?
The Marvels, probably.
Really?
The Marvels, Dune Part 2.
Dune was good.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Timothy Clement.
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet. Yeah.
Yeah.
My man.
See, I'm not the only one. You're not the only one that knows actors.
Yeah. Well, you have to. If you're doing a podcast
I
about
feel like-
acting,
I feel like you know more actors than me, though.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Because you watched a lot of movies in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, so I have definitely, though I was not born or around in the 80s, 70s, 60s, I do go back and watch the ones that are the classics because...
Gone with the Wind?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why that one?
That's too old. That one came out in the 50s. It's supposedly one of the best movies.
I'm going to look it up. I think there's a reason why I didn't watch it. Is that the musical?
It's like 4 hours long.
Gone?
It's supposed to be one of the highest box office.
1939.
Yeah, that one's really old. Then oops, I was a little
4
bit
hours
off.
long.
Yep. See, I told you.
Interesting.
Yeah, that
not seen it. No. I got something in my throat.
Oh, geez.
Not seen it.
You need some Coke or some water or something. Great digression.
There you go.
All right.
And then Apex.
No, right. No, don't.
Let's talk about that.
Don't start with that.
No. But no, I've not seen Gone with the Wind. It's not even on my list of movies to see. But I have seen Casablanca and stuff like that.
Nice.
Obviously, we talked about it a second ago. Godfather.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. Right.
Much more than those, but those are obviously have gone and because you got to see the movies that have paved the way for the movies today.
Right.
And a lot of times movies today make references to movies back then.
That's true.
So then you respect the movie more.
Yes. That is true.
Because of the homage to the movie.
It's beautiful.
Prior. So.
Yes.
But anywho, so grading.
Yes, let's get to it. If you are new here, welcome, of course, and
thanks for sticking along this long.
Appreciate you so much. We want to give you a big kiss, but we can't.
You can. I can't give kisses anymore.
Oh man,
she'll kill me.
I know. Anyway, oh my gosh, Jeremy.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Turn off the cameras, Jeremy. Oh gosh.
Why turn up? Leave them on.
Jeez, I'm just kidding.
No.
Oh, jeez. So if you are new here, we do think that C is our base middle line. We think C is an average movie. So, yeah. So we just use the alphabet. Yeah. So, would you like to go first, or?
Yeah, I don't mind going first. The
letter and why?
I give it an A minus.
Okay. Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
The reason why I give it an A minus is because it's a great. We just talked about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie. The only things that would make it not like an A or an A plus, I have to think about that a little bit. It's obviously it's in the shadow of Dark Knight, as it is. There's just some things that in the movie, I don't know if I feel like they could have been done a little bit better or any of that kind of stuff. The movie, like I said, the movie was never nominated for anything. So I do feel like, in a sense, other people may have actually given the score a little bit something worse.
Jeez.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
I do. This movie didn't get as good a scores as some of his other films. But oh, look, it's flashing at us. It's probably going to play another movie.
Yeah, you're right.
I wonder if the audio will come in.
No.
But if you watch the movie, you'll understand why I give it an A minus. There's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Gotcha. Okay. Just quickly, just so you know, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 87, certified fresh.
Okay.
All right.
Is that
IMDb gave it 8.4 out of 10.
Okay. So an 87, that's an 87%. Is that critic scores or is
critics?
That critics? What is what do the people give it?
Yeah, the people gave it a 90.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty high.
I mean, it's no 100, but
right. Yeah,
apparently
that's true.
Everything gets to be 100 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
Yuck.
Whatever. Anyway, I would say I'm going to give it an A.
A? Okay.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it. It's pretty close to The Dark Knight, but of course The Dark Knight takes the cake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I just don't feel like it was a masterpiece or anything, but it sure was close to it.
Gotcha.
You know, I really did enjoy it this time around.
It was close. I'll give it.
It was
that.
close, man. It was.
I feel like obviously we'll say like Dark Knight we'll say is an A plus, and I think of things like Shawshank Redemption being like an A. And so then I think of it, is it as good as Shawshank Redemption? I don't know. It's still great. And so that's why I would do something like an A minus.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. But I guess at that point it's like, well, do you prefer a little action right now, or do you prefer more of a drama?
That's the thing, though.
Right,
So it's an overarching score. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if we're giving it an overall score, because the reason how we score, just in general, is based off of the information that from the movies that we've seen before.
Yeah.
So if you've never seen The Dark Knight, we'll say, or if you think whatever your movie is your favorite movie of all time, and you've never seen that movie, and you've only seen the movie that you second place in that, you will say that that's the greatest movie of all time. You haven't seen another movie for it to not be the greatest movie of all time.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I say it's hard to give something an A+ because I've not seen every movie.
Right.
You know?
I understand.
And so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Gotcha.
So that's why I continue to be A-.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So.
Well, what a great way to end the podcast.
Yeah.
It has been such a pleasure again.
Absolutely.
Talking about The Dark Knight Rises and
that was fun.
A few other things that came to mind, which was fine.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us this whole time. If you made it this far,
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Drop a like.
If you have
leave a 5-star review.
5-star review. If you have his for Venmo or anything like that, send him some money.
Oh Lord!
And by that I mean me.
Oh man, we are. Yeah.
You make a lot of money.
Whatever.
So shut up.
Oh gosh, you not. Just
failing musician.
Get out of here. Oh gosh. Whatever.
I just had a scam.
Oh really?
Yeah. This is a weird one, so that's why I'm going to say it. I just thought of it, but so I got this. It was a guy from Billboard, guy who does articles at Billboard. Do you know what that is?
No.
Billboard is Billboard.com, or Billboard magazine is the one of the highest magazines for music in general.
Okay.
They're the ones that rate music. Whoa,
that was a loud noise.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna shut this because we don't need it anymore. Shh.
Right.
So it was a person that they wrote into me and they said I make articles, or I write articles and their profile looked legit and all that kind of stuff. And so we would like to feature you on our magazine. And I thought it was real. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But he said he wanted me on The Source. And so first of all, that was a red flag up. It's because I don't write hip hop music. And so I was like, that's strange that they'd want me on The Source because I don't, but I mean, maybe The Source is trying to change their music. And so, and then as the person started writing, it sounded like they wanted information and so as I got through it, I was thinking, I think this person is going to say, because they want to give me like their background or me to give them my background and how I got started and some photos that they could put in. I think if I do all that, I think the next thing they're going to say is pay us $100 to put you on the magazine. I think that's the scam.
Wow.
And so instead of getting to that point, I have said, can you and I FaceTime? Or video chat.
Okay.
So, because he doesn't want to give me his email.
Okay.
Was another thing. So trying to scam me out.
You got to be careful with that.
You do. There's a lot of scams out there, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can seem, because at first the person was did talk well.
Yeah.
And talked like somebody that I would think would be somebody who's doing an article.
Mm-hmm.
But as time progressed, like it was probably copy paste sentences. But as I got more specific in the conversation, the other person had to get more specific as well too.
Right.
And that's where the grammar issues were happening, and that's when all the this and that and the other thing were happening. And so, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So watch out, everybody.
But our Podbean advertisement is not fake.
Not fake. And we're not fake. We're real people.
We are real people, as you can see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, we appreciate you guys. And that's about it, right?
Yeah. Bye.
Right. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
All
right. Bye.
Bye.